Everybody's focus right now is on 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗲𝗃, but tomorrow we have a huge options expiry. We've got $3 billion of Bitcoin options expiring and close to 2 billion of ETH options expiring. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what that actually means, what that means for price, and what we need to be aware of, because as it always goes, we are often deflected in one direction while something else is happening another way. So let's take a look at what is going on here. We can see here that this is the current open interest by strike price for the September 29 options expiry for Bitcoin. And we can see the max pain price is at 26,500. If I change that to Ethereum, the max pain for Ethereum is 1650. So a lot of people have started to dismiss when it comes to options. They dismiss the max pain price, and that's because there's lately been a lot of reasons why Bitcoin doesn't actually get close to the max pain price at the expiry. The problem with this is by only focusing on the max pain, you're not actually taking into account everything that actually matters when you are looking at data like this. Because in addition to the max pain price, which is only one thing, and if you've never heard of it before, essentially what max pain means is that when you have options, you have calls and you have puts, right? So buyers and sellers, and the max pain at the time of expiry is the price that the asset, so in this case Bitcoin, it's the price that Bitcoin needs to be close to in order to cause literally the max pain to both sides, so both the calls and the puts. But the problem with that is that's not the only thing that we should focus on, because sometimes you might have the notional value more heavily weighted one way. And so we actually need to take into account the notional value of the calls and the puts as well, because if one side is a hell of a lot stronger than the other, then drawing price that way is going to cause, max gain for those. Let's just say bears have, much more higher notional value than the bulls, and only the bulls are going to miss out. So we need to have a look at all of the data, as a whole. And also when it's 50-50, that's when you can tend to get a battle, and it's a matter of like who is stronger in the moment at around that expiry time. So the first thing you need to know is, when is the actual expiry time? We know that it's tomorrow, but the options expire around about the UK open. So if you don't know about the session times, because crypto is 24/7, we don't often, pay too much attention to traditional markets and their session times. But you can simply just add this indicator down here. It's literally called market session times. I'll type it here so you can see it. This one here, market session times by Trade Travel Chill. And if you add that to your chart, it doesn't matter what time zone you're on. You don't need to change anything. These times are going to be correct. So come tomorrow, when UK opens, within around the first hour of UK opening is when those options actually expire. And so you can expect some volatility around that time. So definitely be aware of that. It's also Friday, which, it's false move that traps you into the weekend, and that false move usually does happen at the start of UK and then the final trap towards the end of UK. So it could be a volatile day tomorrow, and just be aware of that. And if you're in good trades that are in decent profit, somehow, I don't know how with the current price action, but if you are, then just make sure you protect your trades before that actual expiry. But going back to this, when I was talking about the notional value, if we have a look at this article here by Cointelegraph, it shows us down here, number one, that the bulls may be too optimistic, and that is coming from this move up here, trying to push us up into actually the very area of interest that we showed on yesterday's show. This red vector candle that you can see right here was our area of interest to the upside. And this is the perfect example of what I was talking about on yesterday's video that nobody seemed to like, to be honest with you. Everybody turned super bullish here. And if you happen to catch yesterday's video, I gave you guys a warning that you should take profits on every rise if the rise creates a macro lower high, because right now the rises are false moves in what is like overall a bigger bearish movement. And so if we zoom out on that, I had a horrible day yesterday with everybody not liking what I said. But if we have a look at this, for example, this was the move up, and look what it did. It created a lower high. So it was exactly what I warned you guys about. Just be careful when, if you're trading smaller time frames and you go into a long position, absolutely exploit that price action. Absolutely do it. But just don't get caught up thinking that you've caught the start of the next bull run or a higher time frame trend, because if those pushes to the upside continue to create lower highs, then you're just being trapped. And if we can see it very clearly on the 15-minute time frame last night. I was watching so many people on YouTube last night talking about this move to the upside, and I'm long, and I'm just like, like not judging, but I'd be careful of that. And then, bang, we just came right down. And look where this wick landed. It landed right in our area of interest that we had to the downside. So we had a false push up into the top area of interest, a false push right back down into the bottom area of interest. Talk about precision. Like, it's insane. But these are the kind of price action, if you're scalping and you're good at scalping, you can take advantage of that. But you can't hold on through trades and think they're going to turn into retracements right now when the liquidity is so low and there's just so much manipulation going on. It's very easy to move a market and make a move like that happen because it doesn't take as much money as it normally would. And that's what you need to realize and understand. And when you see things like that, it's irrational behavior, because it can be. Because the second it broke out, anyone who is left in crypto, which is not many people right now, turned bullish. And it was crazy. Votes were being held against me, whether I was right or wrong. And this is where we ended up, So it's not about, for me, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. That's not the point. I'm here to educate you guys on how to protect your trades and take your profits. Whether it goes up or down is irrelevant. We don't care if we're bullish or bearish. We don't care. We're looking at the price action. We're looking at the market structure, and we are riding the trend and taking our profit at key zones that we can identify well in advance before anything turns against us. Now, I did see that comment from AZ that says, what is the indicator of the liquidation level? So I believe you're talking about these blue lines here. These I actually manually draw in myself as part of my charting process. So it's not an indicator. It's something I do to make the levels really clear to you guys when I do my videos. But the levels come from high block. And so before I get back into the options, we'll just talk about high block, because I did find something very interesting yesterday, that when we had this push up here, see how we've got this major yellow zone here. The yellow zone is what we're interested in, because that's where the most liquidity is, right? And that is at 27,000. So when we have a look at the Bitcoin price, it only came up here to 26.8. Now, we did have a liquidation level there yesterday. We did have it. So it did tap into that. But it didn't hit this one, which I believe, is this a 1 month? 7 days. That's a 7-day liquidation level, it's really quite decent. So I'm keeping that in mind, and I would definitely mark that on your charts, because I'll explain why when I get further into the options. But I'm not against a false move up to that 27K region, still yet to come before the closeout. And I'll explain why in a second. Below price, we have 25,800 is one. So it's another level you should mark on your own charts. And 25,650 is important, as well as 25,300. So those are the three levels below price. Now, when I go back to the chart here, look at this. So we can see that when the price moved up here, look at this open interest down here. So, if you've never heard of open interest before, it's basically measuring how many positions on both sides are being opened at a time. So if open interest is rising, that means for every one person or one contract that goes long, one contract also goes short. So a lot of the times, the other side of that is the market maker. And especially when you see a rapid rise like this, because, you know, it's only the market makers that can really control it in that way. So when we have a very fast rise up like this, and you see the open interest starting to, you know, rise on a really big steep angle like that, you're often being set up by the market maker as they're building shorts, which may not make sense. But in order for price to go up, there has to be a buyer and a seller, right? So if all of retail are jumping on and going long, the market maker has to be opening shorts in the opposite direction. And so they're building shorts up here as you guys, retail, are going long, because we're FOMOing into this idea that it's a massive fast breakout. And they do that way as well. They make it fast so that you don't think rationally. And then this here proves that they were building shorts, because look here how you have a straight down open interest. So that's showing liquidations. That big fast move down there liquidated everybody who went long yesterday. And, you know, now we're just back into the range, but we don't have anything happening. Now the open interest is declining. That means that market makers they're just sitting back watching and seeing what retail kind of believe are going on for the moment. They haven't really turned up in this zone. So when it comes to the options, you know, as I mentioned to you here, it says that the bulls are a little bit too optimistic, trying to go for that 27K. But this is the most important part. And this comes down to what I was saying before, when you have to take into account the notional value of the calls and puts in addition to the max pain price. So understand the max pain price that's currently sitting at 26,500. It means both the calls and the puts will expire worthless. Basically, no one wins. So therefore, one side wants to win, right? So we want to try to understand who's got more power right now, and like how do I say this? It's in whose best interest to push price one way or the other tomorrow, because it's not about the max pain. Because if max pain is at 26,500, we're basically there now, which means they could just hold price sideways until UK tomorrow. We would all die of boredom probably, but it doesn't even have to be that exact number. It usually has to be $1,000 either side. So, you know, we could have a $2,000 swing in Bitcoin and it would still cause max pain. But when we have a look at this here, why it's in the bear's best interest to keep price lower, you can see here it says if price closes between 25,000 to 26,000, that's where the bears are going to make the most money. So that's where they're up for $170 million. As we get any higher in, $430 million. As we get higher in price, they stand to win the least. So between 27.5 to 28K, they're only up to make 85 million. So, and also I'm pretty sure the bulls, let me see where I read this. Yeah, the bulls would need to get, above 28K, which is a bit of an ask right now. So right now the bears are looking a bit stronger. And as long as they hold price somewhere between 25 to 26K, they're going to make the most money possible. And so this is why I'm saying to you that it's not just about max pain, it's about the calls versus puts and the notional value either side. So let's have a look at why that 25 and 26 is of interest to us, because if price were to come down, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that either. Oh, forget it. If price were to come down in between that 25 to 26, we also have here, you can see I've marked a liquidation level of 7-day liquidation at 25,800. Now that was what I just showed you on high block, right? So that's going to liquidate futures traders as well as have the bears win at the options expiry sometime before options or UK open tomorrow. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that. It doesn't mean that they can't run price up. There is a liquidation level at 27K. But in order for the bulls to win, they'd have to get up there and hold it up there. And right now they're not looking like the stronger player. So, how you would play this as a trade, I personally don't like the price action. We had this horrible move yesterday. We've come down into this area of interest twice, and we have moved away. At this point in time, we've got, 2 hours and 45 minutes left of UK. So if we can analyze today's price action only, then Asia pretty much did what Asia's meant to do today. If we measure out the Asia price action, it was under a 2% move. That's Asia's job, right? Asia's job is to consolidate between a no more than 2% range. Good boy, Asia. You did your job today. But UK's job is to run a trend. And so far, it hasn't really done much. UK started here, this little trend to the downside. This might be a retracement before we come down further. Who knows? But the idea now is, if we are going to hold at that max pain, price is probably going to look like this into tomorrow. It just depends. Do they want to hold it around the max pain and hurt both sides? Again, because have a look at, where is it? Have a look at this notional value here. So the calls are at 1.97 billion and the puts are at 1.14 billion. So it's not 50-50, but it's not a huge difference, right? So it could be that they do want to cause the damage to both sides. And so we may just hang around at this price until UK tomorrow to cause that max pain. Or if the bears can bring in some power, maybe they're holding on to it for now. They're just kind of sitting back waiting. But if they want, maximum gain, they are going to need to bring price down before as soon as UK opens tomorrow. So sometime between Asia or UK, or, could even be tonight, and then they just hold it there. But, point being, if the bears are really going to go for max value here, they're going to try to get price down as close to that 25 to 26K as they possibly can. So that's what I would be looking out for. To me, another thing that I see in this current price action is just a very, very simple technical analysis. If I grab the channel tool and I draw from that peak there where we dropped, connect the dots, we've got a very, very simple bear flag happening here. And that is currently a break and a retest of it. Now, price is at the 50 EMA now. So if it starts to drop the 50 EMA, that's looking like a typical retail bear flag. And, retail patterns do play out at level 2 and level 3. So if this was a V shape here as, a potential midweek reversal that's already happened, I mean, it is Thursday now, it can happen Wednesday or Thursday, then let's draw fibs on this as well and just have a look. This went right up to the 61.8, created the initial high of the day. So there's a lot of things to kind of line up here, and we'll see if the bulls fight back. But at this point in time, it does look like the bears have a little bit more power at the moment, at least until tomorrow. So, I'm not saying massive big move down, although I'm kind of liking in the chat that you guys are starting to love the moves down, which is much better than the response yesterday. But we really just have to be careful until the options expire. Once they expire, we're in free period. We can do whatever else we want. Some other things to be aware of today is we have, in a couple of hours time, we have the final GDP coming out that can cause price to move. We also have unemployment claims. So that is in, just a tiny bit over 2 hours from now. Then these times, by the way, are in Dubai time zone. So, you can go to forexfactory.com/calendar and you can convert those times just up here into your own time zone. And then we also have Fed Chair Powell speaking Friday. Well, it's Friday midnight here, core PCE. So all of these are, excuse me, happening Friday. I mean, this could definitely cause a massive dump. Who knows? We don't really trust him all that much right now. But these are the things to look out for. They may cause the volatility that if this is going to come down into that region that we know the bears want, it could cause those drops. So be aware of what's happening around around those news times. Gonzo, I just saw your comment there. Don't hate, appreciate. Thank you very much. I love you for that comment. And Joel says, shorts are just as good as longs. We just want to be on the right side of the trade, whichever way it goes. 100%. That's what I'm here to preach, guys. I'm never a perma bear. I'm never a perma bull. I actually don't even like using the words bearish or bullish because they invoke an emotion in you anyway, and then you end up getting attached to that idea. It's not bearish or bullish. We either have a market structure that shows we're going down or a market structure that shows we're going up. for the moment. That's it. And until that changes, we just trade that direction. So I think let me see what else I've got here. Let's have a look at the heat maps currently. There is not much above price, meaning if there was something above price, we'd be looking for a big level to show where price might short, but we don't really have that at the moment. Below price, nothing of interest. Oh, look here. Anastasia, sometimes you are just great. Sorry. Like, look at this. We've got 1.2K orders sitting at 25K. So it is definitely where buyers are willing to step in. So when that happens and it's down, it's a target. Okay. So somebody at some point is going to step in to try and short it down to that level to stop it there. Right. That's what that means. A buy order is just a close. Sometimes it's a buy order to open a new position, but sometimes it's to close a position the other way. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So, depending, that's where you have to sort of put all the pieces together of what you're seeing to understand the market structure and know whether that is somebody's target or where somebody wants to open a new trade, which, if it was going to give us level 3, then that's where I would look for a W formation bag flip. But if it doesn't give us level 3 by the time it gets there, it's like, let's just say we're in a level 2 drop when we get to 25K, then I would expect more downside to come. And then you've got to bring in the timing, which is that will lead us into Friday. So just understand there are 3 elements to the method that are most important. Sorry. The pattern, the timing, the levels. You have to be able to tie all of those together in order to be able to get your whole formation to play out well. So it is very, very detailed. Point being, doesn't matter. We've got 25K where buyers are wanting. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Because I'm talking too fast. We've got 25K where buyers want to step in. We know that is going to be the best chance for bears to close out and make the most profit. We know that market structure is currently showing us a bear flag that has broken but has not yet pulled away. So we have to keep an eye on that. What we're waiting for next is price to start dropping the EMAs. If it does, we then want to see it drop this line next at 26,300, because this line here, if we go back in time, is last week's low of the low of last week, which so far we've broken above. We failed the retest. Now we want to see if we get back down under it. So yeah, that's what I would be looking for. What would I do to go long? Probably nothing with this price action. If I don't get my good signals to go short, I would still believe that the moves to the upside are false moves to trap me. And I'm not really all that interested, again, until we can get through zones that change the market structure on a higher time frame. One other thing too, September is going to close out very soon. Currently, September will close in the green, so 1.91%. But that may change if we get that move down to 25K. What else? Some people were asking me on Bitget how to find pairs to trade. So you simply go up here to USDT futures. This, what I'm on right now, is the demo account. So the demo is where you're not trading with your real money. So if you just want to practice, use the demo account. If you want to make some money, hopefully, then go to this futures account. And then at the side here where the drop down arrow is where you will see all the pairs and you can search for what you want to trade. Speaking of Bitget, we have, did I say Bitget? I meant to say Bitget. But speaking of Bitget, as you guys should know, that we've got a team for the competition. So if you're wanting to jump on our team, you can just go to the links that are in the description of the very video that you're watching right now, and you will see right here that you can join Bitget if you need to. But if you already have an account, you don't need to get a new one. You can just come down here and jump onto our team. And whilst we're here as well, check out NordVPN if you are looking for VPN, because you want to keep yourself safe, definitely. And for some places, NordVPN allows you to trade in places where you are not actually allowed to trade. Finally, for our competition, this is the team. As you may or may not know, I've released a whole scalp series. It's free. As long as you're part of my Bitget team, you get access to this. So step one is go to Bitget, go to this link, join the team. Step two, go to my Twitter, which I don't have up now, but go to my Twitter. At the very top of my Twitter, you will see a link. That link gets you into my Discord, and then you just have to register that you have joined the team. You get access to this whole scalping strategy, and this is everybody in here right now practicing the strategy before the competition starts, having massive results. Some people, I love this honesty right here. You can't win every trade. We share losses, we share wins, and yeah, total positive vibes. So get in there if you want to be part of the competition. Be careful of tomorrow. UK closed tomorrow, and that's all I've got. Also be aware of just be careful around the news events. These news events prior to options expiring might help get that trade down to the 25K if the bears are going to win on this one. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time.